Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. It's Friday, it's July the 11th. This will be our last chart lesson for this week. Hope everybody had a good trading week, but we're going to wrap it up today. Today, I'm going to be a little shorter chart lesson than the last few days. I've got to get out of here, ready to get out of here for the week. But basically, what I saw was a trading range. Looks like it's going to end up being a two-tiered trading range before it's over. We spent most of the day, pretty much almost the entire day, in the lower part of the trading range, and it looks like now we're headed. I'd be shocked if we don't test this high here before it's over. We'll see what happens. There's maybe 30 minutes left in the day, so we'll see what happens. But let's go over the trades. We had a channel that was working up, and we had a break down here. It's not much of a channel, but it's still a channel. You can see, and everything fits nicely on the upside, and it's fitting pretty good here. We had a couple of closes outside. Um, you could have treated this like a failed breakout, and there was a second entry short here, but I think you were better off to wait and see what happened. You don't want to go long here either. I don't think you want to go long here. It's not a very good setup. You got a big bearish bar, and then you get another bar here. Let me move this. That breaks higher than it, and that was your second entry long, but you don't want to be going long there, so you just kind of sit tight, and next thing you know, you got a trap, and I like going short there for the trap. Quick, easy move down, then you get two legs back up, and you do get a little close outside of this channel here at this point, but it's a nice second entry short. You know you're going to get a retest. It actually goes quite a bit further, and you just kind of get hung up down here. Nothing going on down here. You might have thought about going long here, um, but I don't even think you really want to risk going long right here with everything still below the EMA. You can see the support where we failed under and got back, so aggressively you might take that trade. I will go ahead and mark it green for those of you that want to be real aggressive. You might have taken that trade. But what I liked was when we came back down here and we tested it again, we got, okay, had a little interruption there, but you can see it was acting as support again. You had that little break lower, and there's a second entry long there. I like this one. This is one that I would say wait on the second entry off the low, and notice it went up, and then it got a little correction, and it bounced again. So I liked going long there. You might have gone long above this one on that second entry because it's a little failed break lower, and you did have everything in place to get a reversal or a correction or whatever, and you also had this little channel working up, and that was the first break of it. So you figure you're going to get a retest of this high probably at a minimum. So there's a couple reasons to like it. I think you're better off to wait. And then once you waited, you got some overlap there. But the reason you got congestion there is because the market prices hadn't really started reversing yet, but you're finding buying support in here like we talked about yesterday in yesterday's video. So that's the reason you're finding all this congestion here, because there's a lot of buying coming in. And the odds are it's going to bounce just like it did over here, and I'll talk about that. This was kind of tricky right here, but if you know what's going on, you realize it's probably going to go higher. Okay, I'm sorry, like usual, my phone's ringing off the hook, but there was a second entry long there. If you want to be aggressive, you could take that one, and then this one, it's a second entry long, and notice it didn't tick lower there. But again, you're getting all this congestion, and you got the little trap there. So I liked going long there, and it didn't take it long till it was pushing on up. And you got a nice little channel working up. You get a break, you get a retest attempt. It comes back, and it takes another one, and then turns down. It broke higher first. Just put your stop right there. You know what's going on now. You got this high right here, a little double top, and you tested it. You got your double test rule. You really could have gone short right there on the first one, but the fact that we didn't quite get a new high yet, I think it was better to wait. And you don't want to go long right there, of course, because um, you're so close to this, and you've already got your break here and one in a double top. And this is not this has been a strong trend day. I'd say no worries, go on and go long there. But on a day like this, just sit tight and people that don't quite understand what's going on go long right there, and it turns down and traps them out. Just have a stop waiting there. Easy trade. And this one it takes a minute to get through the EMA. It's not getting rejection, but there's people that don't understand rejection, and they just start buying there because it's bouncing off the EMA, and it just goes right on through. And then guess where it bounces? If you want to be aggressive, that's where you'd go long. But I like to wait on the second entry, which you didn't really get. You got a second entry here, but by the time it triggered, it's just kind of in no man's land that we talk about. It's not down to the lows yet. It's it's a little bit lower than this high. The odds are it may go higher, but as you can see here, that was the first break of this channel, so you're looking for it to go down. But I don't think there's a very good short set up there with it being right into those lows either. So that's just one that there is a failed second entry long, actually right here. So you could have considered going short right there, but it just bounced off of these lows right here, So I don't think you want to be going short there. And you might have considered going short there, but again, it's back too close to the lows. So just sit tight, and it comes down here, and this line would have still been down here at that point. I've got two lines here because earlier I was using this point, and then later in the day I was using this point, and you can see both of them. But notice where that bounced right there. You had your break, your new low. I like this one just to go long right there. And if you waited on the second entry, you didn't really get one again. And again, this is just a repeat pattern almost of this, or of what we saw here, or rather what we saw over here, just at this level. Notice this has moved down now. So that's why it always helps to draw the lines, because look how much difference that looks now than when the line's not there. So hopefully you see that double top right there, and you get this little repeat pattern that was the exact same thing we had right here. And you hear me talk about repeat patterns. Take that trade. Easy scalp. It didn't get much more than that, because then it starts finding support right across this level. And there was actually off the low. Notice first entry pullback, and there's a second entry long right there. You might have gone long right there. I'll be honest, I went long right there, and I almost scratched this trade, but again, it's similar to what we saw here, back over here. So it's just moved up a little bit, and when they couldn't break it lower, when it broke lower right here, and then immediately turned back up, again, put it, either if you went long here, add on, and you may not have gone long there without that little second push down. And I'm going to talk about that real quick and then wrap this thing up. But you definitely, when it turned down that time and went and closed on its high, you could have even gone long here, but the move is when it breaks above this bar, and that was an easy trade. It took it a little while to work up there, but you could tell that it was all, strong buying. You get the pullback. There's a failed second entry short, but you can't go long into that resistance right there. But then it pulls back, and you get the breakout pullback long here. It comes back and tests it again here. I like going long above that bar, and then it actually came back and made a little bit of a trap. It got that next push down and went back up, so you could go long there. You could take any of those right across there. So that's what I saw today. But I wanted to show you this, and you'll see where it comes into play a couple of times. But here's a good place to see it. I believe this is where it's at. Oh yeah, right here. This is it. And let me show you this from the right side. All right, notice when it breaks above here, you got a first entry long, and then it turns back down. And then it tries to go lower again. Actually, that's not going to do it either, because you do get your two tries to go lower there. Where did I saw one here, and this is important, so I want to find this setup and show it to you. Actually, this one will do right here. Notice you got a new low, you got a first entry, you got a pullback, and you got a second entry. So there's a second entry long right there. But many times, until you get that next push down, see that next little push, that's like your double test rule, and that's when it's going to be stronger. So that would might be a reason to wait on this. I wish I'd have waited. I wouldn't have had to set out those two bars that took forever, uh, but I did, and then it takes off. So um, it's still not a great example of it. Let me see. I know I saw that somewhere. Where did I see it? Oh, here it is, right here. Notice this second entry long. Let me show you something that's different about it. Even though you're moving down and you get a first entry, and then you're moving down and you get a second entry, notice what's happening. All your bars are really making lower lows. So a better second entry is when you get, let's see here, like this one. You get your first push down, your first entry, and then you get another break lower before your second entry triggers. I hope that's clear. Look at this one, how all the bars are lower than the last ones. It's not that clear break lower that kind of traps people. Um, you do get a push higher and a move down and a push higher. So that's a second entry long. And those are okay in some instances, but when you're in a range day like this, or the bars are all stacked up and things like that, the better entry is to wait on the first move down, the pullback, and then a clear break lower before the second entry long triggers. So anyway, I hope that's real clear as to the difference between that second entry and this second entry. Again, you can see there's two clear legs down with some clear breaks, and here it's all one move down, even though you do have some breaks higher. And this is the stronger second entry long, but notice it failed too, but it's because of the context. We already had the break and the attempt, and the range just taking over. But I've been wanting to point that out sometimes because it does make a big difference in how well the trade takes off sometimes. So, and that was the same thing, kind of here on the same. Notice that there's only one move up, pull back, and then a second move up, and then you get the little. But notice there's only one push down, so you wait on that second one, and then you got a clear failed second entry short that reverses and traps everybody. And that's probably what it took to finally push it up. This was interesting. It took a long time, over an hour, to go through there. And I entered on the second entry long here with just a double bottom, thinking that was going to be good enough. But and you did have a little break higher above this double bottom, so it was kind of like a breakout pullback long too, but it just got hung right there. And probably when it didn't break above this bar and it took the next one, that should have been my clue to wait. But sometimes if you wait, you're going to miss these trades, because sometimes it doesn't. It takes right on off, kind of like it did here. It takes on off. And of course, the one time you do go long, that's the time it's going to push lower one more time and then go up. But either way, the trade still worked out. As long this was my signal bar, and as long as my stop was below it, it never triggered my stop, and it was still a good trade. And so nice long there, and then this, I treated this just like it's a low right here, first entry short, second entry short. So the fact that this bounced off the trend line, it's a breakout pullback long, and it's very similar to a failed second entry short. It's a little aggressive because it's right at these highs. You're better off to wait on the second entry, which came right here. And so I liked going long above that bar. I probably would use a limit order because it didn't close on its high. And since it's first entry, you definitely even though it broke lower and went higher first, I don't think you want to take it. And then you get that little push lower, so then you get a second entry long. And it was kind of like here, it was tempting to wait to see if you'd get another push down. But notice what happened here. You didn't get one. It takes on off. And so you would have missed that one by trying that. So sometimes you just got to go with, the first entry. But when you see that next push down, so notice the low, and it's like the double failure rule, then it's probably good to go and go on and get long or get short or whatever and go with it. So the bias was really down until right here. You had this big move down, kind of a double top, and then the range got tighter really, but still the bias was still kind of to the downside until we broke higher and started working higher here, and that's when I would have. And you can see that trend line working up through there. Um, nice little range right there, and you can see it starting to lose momentum. It's getting away from. It's not getting back to this side. You get the break, the move to a new high. Now we're working down again. I still think we'll probably, although that might be the highs right there, that might be good enough. But if you're looking at it as a kind of a measured move kind of deal, I would say those are the highs right there, and so that's going to put it. Well, maybe that's it right there. Let's measure it. Now that I'm looking at it, if you measure from there to there, that's a measured move. So that may be all we're going to get. We'll just have to see. But we do have this move lower here that went a little further. So we may actually break above that if it goes higher. There's only like 10 minutes left, so it doesn't matter. Excuse me. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get out of here early today. I've got some things I've got to take care of before the weekend. So hope you had a good trading week. It was a really good week. I saw somebody else posting that they had one of their best weeks ever. And so that's a sign that you're getting better. And so anyway, we'll wrap it up for today. We'll be back to do it next time on Monday. And this is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.